if you're a project manager, you're most likely working with some kind of support team of technical people. There could be project manager assistants, there may be e-discovery analysts, but you may have some people who you send some of the work to in order to have them process or create productions or do something else with data you need done. Now, the question that usually comes up from new project managers is, if I have very simple requests that I need done, should I do it myself or should I send it to the team of support people? Today, I'm going to answer that question. Recently, a situation came up where project manager needed an index updated in a relativity database. However, that function is usually handled by tech people. And while I was walking by him, he said, hey, here's the index on my screen. I just need someone to update it. And I go, well, why don't you just click the button right there and you're done? And he's like, well, I mean, I don't normally do it. Should I just do it and not ask, technical people to do it? I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's the same button. You're gonna click it or they're gonna click it. It makes no difference. If it's already on your screen, just click the button. So what's my logic here in this situation? Well, if it's gonna take you longer to write a request than to actually do it, you might as well do it yourself. Oftentimes there is some kind of database that you have to log in your requests to send work to analysts. So you have to open a ticket, put the instructions, click OK, and then send the request over.
Sorry.
Yes.
They don't want nobody sitting on the edge.
Oh, sorry. That's okay. Not supposed to sit on the edge. Okay, so we'll just sit right over here. So as I was saying, if it takes you longer to write that email or enter the request in a database, you might as well just click a button or do it yourself. Like maybe you have an overlay of 50 lines with 2 fields that you just need loaded. It's literally going to take you quicker to open a desktop client and load that overlay than to send an email to tech folks. Unless there is a liability for performing specific tasks. So example of that would be many years ago, we received a number of forensic images. I'm not sure if they were hard drives, phones, or whatever. And there was just not enough people in the company to perform the task that was required to do with those forensic images. I don't remember the details of it, but each image had to be opened, certain things had to be checked, information extracted, something logged, but there was just not enough forensic folks to do that because there were like maybe 100 images or something like that. And so what they did is they enlisted help of other team members in the company. And as it turned out to be, it was actually a terrible idea. People who were using that software now were not certified in the software, they were not trained in the software, and they were really not qualified to use it. It was forensic software. The task, it seemed like it was pretty simple. You just go file, open, you do this and that, and then close it. Well, it turned out to be, it wasn't as simple as that. There were errors popping up. People did not know what to do with the errors. There was no one to answer questions. And my feeling was mistakes were made in that particular project. Another example of this would be imaging. A project manager could say, oh, it's easy. I'm just going to click on the imaging button and it's going to tiff all the documents out and that's it. But it's not. This is a step that does have certain liability associated with it because you have to run the imaging and then you have to do quality control to make sure if you image document, everything completed successfully. There were no errors, things were formatted okay, and any errors that did come up were logged. And whenever it's time to run production, that we're aware of that those errors are legitimate and not just something that had timed out. And now when we're running the production, it gets a placeholder because something failed to TIFF before. So again, we're coming back to, yes, it's an easy step, but there are additional steps required, or there is a liability which comes to the subsequent steps like running the production. If you were to make a mistake in imaging, your production would be ruined. All right, guys, let me know if you agree with my assessment that if writing up a request is going to take longer, you might as well just do the job yourself. And of course, the exception is if there's liability, special software, special training is required. Don't forget to follow on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube. I'll see you in the next video.